Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video right here. My name is 2 Liter J. This is the Sacramento Truth Movement. Back with another little video right here. I thought it would pop in, for a brief moment. I kind of got in the thought process, so I don't want to kind of lose this train of thought for like maybe a later video. But I think by then I'm gonna lose a train of thought, so I might as well voice it now. I just got back from my dad's funeral, and like I've been watching these videos and reading all these articles and playing these things that kind of correlate into a new kind of mindset or philosophy, as I'll probably title this after, if that makes sense. I think I kind of have a new outlook on life, if you want to put it like that. And if you hear all the background right here, it's all these little dogs running around. Yeah, but all these articles, all these things that kind of correlate to a new mindset, kind of like a new philosophy that I'm seeing the world in, if that makes sense. There's been a lot of changes in my life, and those are puppies fighting. But there's been a lot of changes in my life that I kind of developed like a new outlook, as I said, on like a new mindset, a new train of thought, a new philosophy, as if you want to leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who necessarily will listen to this, but I hope you take my words that I have to say, to heart, as I don't want to lose this train of thought, because I've kind of put a lot of mindset into it, and it will I hope help anybody else who has a similar situation and necessarily knows what's going on, into a stance, if you understand what I'm saying. So with that though, this new mindset that I've came across in the last few days, more or less in the last few months, listening to people, watching stuff, reading stuff, experiencing stuff. It's weird. Like, all the similarities point to a kind of new aura about myself, if you want to put it like that. That word may sit wrong with some people, but I don't know how to define it, because they're just some feelings that you can't necessarily express with words. I had to give a eulogy at my dad's funeral earlier, so I'm trying to I said that earlier. There's just some emotions and some feelings that you really can't describe very well that are like that, and it's hard to talk about these feelings and expressions that you have, but I try to do very well as much as I can. So with that, as I said, I've experienced a lot of stuff to get to the point. I've experienced a lot of stuff that kind of correlates with itself, like from like games I'm playing, movies I've watched, shows I've watched, people I've met, stuff I've listened to, videos I've watched on YouTube, articles I read. And there's a video that I came across the other day from a subscriber slash friend. I'm not gonna name who. I've watched it a while back, but I never got to finish it until now. I just got reminded by him the other day. It's called "Death to the World: The Last True Rebellion." It's Eastern Orthodox Christian video, if you want to put it like that. A group of monks who have a volume of I believe novels or writings on it, and then this channel called Harmony organized it into a video, and then I shared it on my page the other day. And I really felt that. I've honestly, truly felt that in my heart, that I relate to that, because that is me, even without watching the video. That is legitimately how I see the world. Because I've said this so many times. You live in the world. I live in the world. You live in the world, the listener. But don't be of the world. Is the objective, is the conclusion in all this. We reside in the world, but we're not of the world. Worldly things don't, affect people like me and you, the listener. All this is just nonsense. All this will fade away in a few years. Whether when the Messiah returns, could be now. I believe we're in the last days. Necessarily, I can't do that, and nobody knows the day or the hour nor the sun. Could be even another 100 years. Just speculating, and all this now will fade away. All of it will die away, and all I will be is memories to future family members. And with my dad's death, I've kind of thought about that. I've thought about future generations, if there are future generations, and how off they will be in the future. Like what their determination will be in the future, and who I will be to them. And with the world dying away, the last true rebellion, the nihilistic point of view that nothing matters but the path to God, that is the true conclusion, is finding God, finding God in all this ass end world that we live in. And I felt that really. And then I've kind of correlated to that all back to like stuff I've been in lately. Like if we're going to go back to Red Dead Redemption 2, the game, Red Dead Redemption 2. If you watch Dutch, like his kind of mindset, people will say he's narcissistic. You got to do a research into the character to understand his point of view. And I see it. I really do see it. It's a nihilistic point of view. Help the world, live in the world, help it, because they were like Robin Hood characters to help the poor. And then if you play the game, you would understand that 1899, the outlaw gang, where they were like a more outlaw Robin Hood kind of figure take on cowboys and shit. And with the increasedness of civilization, big cities popping up here and there, the world was changing, and stuff was changing. The trueness of reality was fading away, and stuff that we can no longer do. It's weird. It really is absolutely weird. But to go with it, I kind of relate to that character because it's real anarchist kind of view. Not a liberal Antifa kind of anarchist type of view, but like for Christ, if that makes sense. Fuck everything except finding God. You know what I'm saying? And what that be, is the question of the approach to take it. And that is death to the world. Live in the world, but don't be of the world, is what I'm trying to say. But as I was saying, the character Dutch from Red Dead Redemption 2, very similar mindset, real charismatic, individualism, but as individuals in a group. Now that may seem like an oxymoron, but in a sense, you'd have to experience it to understand it and have a similar mindset to understand that. Be individuals. Don't follow groups. Follow individualism, but other individuals who want to follow individualism, if that makes sense. That is what it's about. Because you have people who see the world similar to you, and that's who you want to be around. That's who you want to be like. And as I said, family, as the world dies off and my lineage still carries on, I mentioned family earlier and where they would be off, whether how many years from now, because I'm going to do more of these videos because I've been thinking lately, Because as my dad says, a couple months ago before he died, and even before that, he always says, "You never know when you can go." And as I would reply to him, like, "You never know when I can go," and that is reality. He goes, "Yeah, you never know." And then 2 months later, boom. So I want to get these kind of videos off my mind and spread them on the internet. I don't know how many views they'll get necessarily. I don't really give a shit. I just want to get this across because you never know when I can go. You, the listener, never know when you can go. It is what I'm trying to say. So with that though, I always wanted a family. I almost have been a dad once, but that didn't go out too well. Um, but now that my dad's gone, I kind of see it a little differently. I kind of want my lineage no longer to carry on. I kind of want it to die off. Now that may seem like stupid, but like with my reality, the concept that I've had for that, kids, family, grandpa, son, holidays, I no longer can do that. And I want to see the world die off. I want to see society collapse within itself. And I wouldn't want people of my lineage, of my genes, experiencing that in any other kind of instances I can think of within that. I would rather have my lineage, no, like just die off. Even my brother, I wouldn't want him to have kids. I wouldn't want myself to have kids within this world of how it's, day by day it's getting more corrupt or morally taking modesty out of society, indoctrinating, principles that are absolute garbage. That's what it is. Those are worldly, materialistic values. It's sick. It's honestly sick. And so when I say live in the world, you see me living in the world, but necessarily I'm not of the world. I don't got too many friends. I don't got too many people. I don't even have a girlfriend. Like, that's how fucked up this shit is. You know what I'm saying? People value materials than, principles and philosophies and shit. It's garbage. People like me with this kind of train of thought centuries ago, even like 300 years ago, were founding empires. They were becoming philosophers. People like me were the outlaws. We were, the people making revolutions and were revolutionaries and were philosophers and were founding kingdoms and cities and building cities and ruling people. Like we were the philosophers and the people building empires. Nowadays, people ask you, "Hey, what do you want to do?" Well, I tell them what I want to do. I can't do in this day and age with the more industrialism takes its course. Like when I mentioned the Outlaws with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Dutch. What they want to do, what they're good at, and who they are, Robin Hood type figures, they can't be that with the increasing industrialism and the more modern society takes its course. That would have to die off and restart for people who are like me with this death to the world concept, to prosper. And that's just the reality in that right there. It's absolutely crazy. But as I said, I would want my lineage to die off. So that's it. But the message with this, though, I watched that video and I've experienced that new changes. I was adapting this kind of nihilistic point of view. It's reality. This is the new norm in society of principles dying off. So to hold on to that would to see the world die, death to the world, because the world is now fucked. That it would need to restart or just die away for it to be restored. It seems like the more any kind of civilization advances, you know exist, as long as they go, the Greeks, the Romans, the Greeks, the Romans, the Americans, Europeans. It seems like the more these nations and conglomerations of countries exist, and reside and reign, the more corrupt and evil they get. It's honestly like that. And there's no heroes within these systems either. The people claiming to be heroes aren't really heroes because they still hold on and maintain worldly ideals and worldly principles. Y'all are absolutely stupid. If you think that it's what's going to change America, you are damn well asleep. You're still in the Matrix. And we're not talking about no Andrew Tate type of shit. Not at all. No, not at all. That's retarded. He's another fucking COINTELPRO dude. No, fuck him. He plays into the norm. He is a distraction from fighting, reality. Absolutely terrible. I was on Instagram and I was watching the Sakari Hebrew Israelites deacon praising Andrew Tate. Like a lot of these dudes still hold on to material, worldly people like Deacon. You see him paying homage to like Andrew Tate, people like him. I mean, dude, you're supposed to be a teacher. What are you doing honoring people like this? Come on, man. Do better. Come on, man. But as I'm trying to say, in a sense, this is the new norm. And for it to, change, it has to die off, dead to the world. That's the message. But as I'm thinking now, this is the only way about it. The nihilistic approach, death to the world. You would need to see it. We would need to see the world die off for anything to be, different. So with that though, I might do a part 2 to continue with this more of 2 Leader philosophy, Sacramento Truth Movement, if you want to call it that. And with that though, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.